In problems 13 through 18, we're solving for x. We're finding the zeros. We're finding the solutions. Now, whenever I see a quadratic, I hope that it is factorable. So if it is, I'm looking for two things that multiply to be 35, but add to be 12. Well, that's 7 and 5. Now I would take each factor and set it equal to 0. And done. Now the next one, you could use the quadratic formula, but this one does factor. Now, since most of you have learned slide and divide, not my favorite method, but I'll use it. I just want to make sure we note that it is not equivalent to this. We need to kind of go off to the other side and work on it. Now, slide and divide means I'm going to multiply 4 down here by the negative 15 and get x squared plus 4x minus 60. Now that is factorable, yes. It would be x plus 10 and x minus 6. But now in the slide and divide technique, what we're going to do next is divide by 4 and reduce. And you get x plus 5 halves and x minus 3 halves. Now, you're not supposed to do the fraction, so we move that back up and we get 2x plus 5 and 2x minus 3. Now that is equivalent to what we started with. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. I'd have negative 6x and a plus 10x, that gives me a 4x, and 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So I am fine with you using that method if you remember to do the divide part. All right, number 15. Now this one has 4 terms. This is a great candidate for factoring by grouping. So this first group has in common 2x squared. When I factor that out, I'd get 5x minus 4. Now out of this next group, I only have in common a 5. And I get 5x minus 4. Now remember, both of these have to be alike for this to work. I can factor out that 5x minus 4. And my other factor would be the 2x squared plus 5. Now I would set each of those equal to 0. and soft. Now I have to be super careful on this one because I need to square root both sides. Oh no. I will have a plus or minus with my answer. Now it's a negative number, so it's going to have an I with the answer. Now this isn't the best way to leave an answer. So I'm going to kind of come off to the side up here and talk about what we can do. So that's really the square root of 5 over the square root of 2 with an I. But I don't really like that. So I'm going to multiply the top by square root of 2 and the bottom by square root of 2. That gives me the square root of 10 over the square root of 4, which would be the square root of 10 over 2. That would be the preferred way to write it. All right, we're 16. Now I've got 3 terms again. I hope this factors really nicely. So x squared times x squared would give me x to the 4. 2 things that multiply to be negative 8 but add to be negative 7. Cool. This gives me x squared equals 8. That's x equals plus or minus the square root of 8. That's 4 times 2. So the square root of 4 is 2. It gets out of jail. And a 2 stays in. The square root of negative 1 is I. So that's all that answer is. Number 17 has a square root in it. Now to undo a square root, I would have to square both sides. Now this side's just going to be 2x plus 13. This side would be x plus 7 times x plus 7. So that's x squared plus 14x plus 49. Now notice I've got a quadratic. So I'm going to get everything on the same side. Subtract 13, that would be 36. Ooh, that's kind of nice. That factors. That'd be x plus 6, x plus 6. So I get x plus 6 equals 0, x equals negative 6, but I need to double check that that answer actually does work. We need to plug it back in to the original problem. So the square root of 1 equals 1. Yep. Now 18, I think I can fit that over here. So this time I have something squared. Well, I'm going to square root both sides. Square root is something squared, releases it. And this is going to be a plus or minus. Square root of 25 is 5. Now, technically, what I have here is 3x minus 4 equals positive 5, and 3x minus 4 equals negative 5. So that'd be 3x equals 9, x equals 3. 3x equals -1, x equals -1/3.